It is time for Tsukihime. Suddenly, I awaken with a start. The night is pitch black, and no one else is in the house. It's scary being alone in the dark. So to find everyone, I head out into the garden. Our mansion's gardens are vast fields of green, surrounded by a thick, dense forest, with the trees blanketing out the light, almost like a massive curtain, like a stage in a theater somewhere. The curtain of trees opens with a swishing sound. Excitement fills me, anticipating the beginning of the grand play. In the distance, I hear the sound of echoes beyond the black curtain of trees. Inside the forest, the sounds of everyone happily playing around. The curtain doesn't open yet. Unable to restrain myself, I wander into the darkness of the forest. Darkness surrounds me, a blackness so deep it's suffocating. Not even the calming rays of the moonlight can reach this deep. The air is cold, a winter's chill so deep my eyes feel like they'll freeze. For a brief moment, I thought I heard someone call my name, so I walk even deeper into the forest. After passing through the veil of trees, I find everyone waiting for me in the forest clearing. But something is wrong. Everyone is lying on the ground. Everyone is lying on the ground in pieces. The clearing is bathed in red. I don't understand. A stranger approaches. The look on his face says he wants to rip me apart. I don't understand at all. But someone else, someone I don't know, steps in front of me, is torn apart in my place. I'm just a kid, so I really don't understand. A splash. Something warm and wet hits my face. It's red. A red liquid, red like a tomato. A person that was torn apart. That person I called Mom, never called my name again. I really don't understand. But it is just so cruel. I wanted to cry, I just felt like crying. Warm crimson blurs my vision, seeping into my eyes. But it doesn't bother me at all. The only moon floats above me, bearing witness in the night sky. It's strange. Why didn't I realize until now? Such a cold, horrible nightmare. Yes, I didn't realize it. That tonight, the moon is so beautiful. Sorry, my window capture freaked out for a second there, but yes, Tsukihime. It is time to experience this story of Kinoko Nasu. I have finished reading through the entirety of Fate Stay Night. I've seen the Karo no Kyokai movies, although I should read through the light novels, I believe, is what it was originally written as, although I might be wrong about that. But yes, very much looking forward to this. Some people made the joke that this would have me hiding behind my microphone like during Doki Doki Literature Club. Very curious to see how that would be the case, but sounds fun. But yeah, I don't know too much about this game. I know the names of a few characters just through the kind of cultural osmosis of just getting a lot of information about the Nasuverse from people, but as far as what happens in the story, what the characters are really about beyond their names and like vague details about them, I don't know anything about this. So that being said, let's get into it, man. So I hit graphic mode and I have all these character options, which I believe these are all the routes. So what I do know, from a little readme I found, is that I should start with the Arsuite? I've heard people just call her Arc, so I will do the same. And all the endings right here, we actually... we seem to have 9. Game options, yeah. So yeah, this is a bit older than Fate Stay Night, so not as much to look through here, but let's just begin. Okay, so as you can see, I fixed my camera, made the capture a bit nicer looking to how I did it with Fate Stay Nights. Yeah, so let's talk about a little bit about what we first saw at the beginning. So we seem to be the perspective of a child, probably the perspective of the character we're gonna be playing as in this visual novel. Um, yeah, everyone he knew was killed apparently, including his mother right in front of him, or hers. I don't know. Yeah, curious. Um, no, I do know the name of a character who we possibly could be. Um, who has a similar trait and a very similar name to a character from another Nasu verse work. But I'm not gonna assume anything yet because again, I don't actually know that. But I have a feeling. So let's see. When I came to, I was lying on a hospital bed. The curtain on the nearby window sways gently. It is a beautiful day outside. The dry wind signals the end of summer. There you go. Hello, TOHNO Shiki-kun. Congratulations on your recovery. The unfamiliar old man extends his hand for a handshake. His square-rimmed glasses and warm smile are very befitting. His tidy-looking white clothes suit him perfectly, too. Can you understand what I am saying, Shiki-kun? No. Why am I in a hospital? You don't remember, do you? You were involved in a car accident while you were walking. Your chest was stabbed by a shard of glass and it was unlikely that you would survive. A car accident, huh? Very unbefitting of what a doctor would say, yet he says it while still smiling cheerfully. Terrible. I feel terrible. I'm tired. Can I go to sleep? Yes, you should rest. You must focus on recuperating and not push yourself. The doctor is still smiling. To be honest, I can't stand that smile anymore. Can I ask you something, doctor? What is it, Shiki-kun? Why are there scribbles all over your body? So this is this is the thing I know about TOHNO Shiki. Very similar to Ryogi. And I know exactly what scribbles he's talking about. And there are cracks all over the walls. Why are there cracks in the walls? The smile vanishes for just a brief moment, then returns to his face immediately. He turns and walks away. Seems there was some brain damage after all. Get a hold of Dr. Ashiya in neurology. I also suspect he may have suffered some damage to his eyes. Spend the afternoon examining his eyes. The doctor whispers to the nurse so that I won't hear him. Yes. His eyes. Weird. There are scribbles all over everyone's bodies. I should trace them. The sloppy, zigzagging black lines running all over the floors, walls, the ceiling. I don't understand what they mean, but looking at them makes me feel sick. I wonder what it is. The bed, too, is covered in these scribbly lines. When I touch the line with my fingertip sinks down into the crack. Oh. It seems as if I could reach farther down with something narrower, so I trace the line with a fruit knife that was lying on the bedside table. I didn't use any strength at all, yet the knife sinks into the bed, all the way up to the hilt. It was fun, so I dragged the knife along the scribbly line. Thud. With a heavy sound, the bed snaps cleanly in two. Oh my gosh. Yep, it's those eyes, alright. Yeah. The girl in the bed next to mine screams. The nurses run over and take the knife away from me. So this is very interesting. How did you break the bed, Shiki-kun? The doctors don't ask why, but curiously persist on how I did it. I traced along that line and it broke. Hey, just why is this hospital full of cracks? You better stop with that, Shiki-kun. There are no such cracks like that anywhere. Now tell me, just how did you break the bed? You can tell me, I promise I won't get mad. I'm telling you, all I did was just trace the line with the knife. I see. Okay, we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. The doctor leaves. In the end, not a single person believed my story. As long as I run the knife along the scribbles, I can cleanly cut anything. I don't have to put any force into it. It is as easy as cutting paper with scissors. The bed, the chair, the desk, the walls, the floor. I've never tried, but probably, no, definitely, even people. But it seems that no one else can see these lines. The black lines only I can see. Despite being a kid, I gradually began to understand what the lines were. They are probably like stitches. Just like stitches that hold an open wound together after surgery, I think they are weak spots. After all, there's no way I could cut such a thing with a child's strength alone. Yeah, I didn't know until now that the world is covered in these lines, these breaking lines that bind everything together. No one else can see them. That's why they are just fine. But I can see them. I'm scared, so scared I can't even talk. It's as if I'm the only one who went crazy. Maybe that's why? Why even after 2 weeks no one believes my story? Even after 2 weeks no one has come to see me? Even after 2 weeks, I continue to live alone in a world surrounded by black stitches. So, we see the difference so far between, the similarities and the differences so far between TOHNO Shiki and, Ryogi Shiki. Ryogi was visited by a certain magus during her confusing time in a hospital bed and her awakening of said eyes. Now, I'm guessing because I know that, like, Kara no Kyokai is, like, an alternate, like, technically same universe as Fate Stay Night, but, like, not. It's like a different universe in the same world. I'm guessing it's the same thing for Tsukihime, because, like, it's weird to think that both of them around the same time would have these eyes. So, yeah, I'm guessing it's just like TOHNO Shiki has the eyes in this story, and Ryogi Shiki has the eyes in her story, and that's where that ends. I don't know. It's curious though. These characters are so similar. I need to get out. I don't want to be in this room anymore. I don't want to stay in a place covered in stitches. That's why I decided to escape and run away to somewhere where no one else would be. But the wound on my chest still hurts, and I didn't get very far. That was when I noticed. I'm standing in the grassy field just outside of town. I really didn't get far at all. My chest hurts, and I feel so sad. I collapse to my knees and cough. I probably shouldn't cough during these times. There's nobody here. Drowning in this ocean of green at the end of summer. I feel like I'm about to disappear. But before that... Hey, you. It's dangerous to sit down in a place like that. No fucking way. No, hold up. Is this who I think it is? I hear a woman's voice from behind me. Eh? What do you mean, eh? You're already a runt, so I can't see if you're sitting in the grass. I was this close to kicking you, so watch out. She points at me rather grumpily. I get a little angry. After all, I sit in the 4th row from the front, so I don't think I'm that short. Kicked? By who? Isn't it obvious, stupid? You and I are the only ones here, so who else could it be but me? She declares this confidently as she folds her arms. I suppose it must be fate that we met here, so you want to talk for a little while? My name is Aozaki Aoko. Remember, I was just talking about similarities? Parallels between both Shikis? And Aozaki, huh? And apparently, this Aozaki is very, very powerful. What's yours? She extends her hand to me with the kind of cheerfulness one would show an old friend. I see no reason to refuse, so I tell her my name is TOHNO Shiki and grasp her cool hand in return. Oh my. Talking to her was a lot of fun. She didn't ignore what I said just because I was a kid. Instead, she listened. She listened to what I had to say, like a friend. We talked about many things. About my family. About how it was an old and respected family with very strict traditional rules. And my equally strict father. Okay. About my little sister Akiha. Oh, she's one of the people I saw on the ending, not the ending, the graphics list. And I guess she's one of the routes. Interesting. Quite Akiha, who always followed me around. Maybe interesting's the wrong word. About our big mansion and the vast gardens, and how Akiha and I would play together with our friends. I told her about many things almost feverishly. Oh, it's this time already. Sorry, Shiki. I've got some business to take care of, so let's stop here. She gets up to leave. My chest tightens and I feel sad, thinking that I would be alone again. See you tomorrow. I'll be waiting for you here, okay? You should go back to your room and listen to your doctor. Whoa! Well, you know a lot about him. Oh. She speaks with such ease in such a natural way as she makes her way off. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow we would be able to talk like we did today. I'm happy. It was the first time I truly felt something since I awoke from the accident. Huh. Since that day, going to that grassy field in the afternoons became part of my daily routine. She would get angry when I called her Aoko. For some reason, it seemed she hated her own name. Oh, I think I accidentally scrolled. After some thought, I decided that she seemed like a very distinguished person, so I came to call her Sensei. Sensei would seriously listen to anything I had to say, and would always dispel my anxieties with but a single word, without fail. I was depressed from the accident, but slowly, thanks to Sensei, I began to return to my former self. Even those scary black scribbles didn't seem quite so scary anymore when talking to Sensei. I didn't know who she was or where she was from. Perhaps she really was a teacher. But I don't care, it doesn't matter at all. Because it's fun being with Sensei. That alone is all that matters, and that alone is more than enough. Hey, Sensei. Look what I can do. I wanted to surprise her one day, so using the fruit knife I brought from the festival, I cut down a tree growing in the field. Like before, I run the knife along the scribble-like line and cut it cleanly across the base. Amazing, isn't it? I can cut anything easily as long as it's somewhere I can see the scribbles. No one else can do this, right? Shiki! She slaps me across the face. Sensei? What you just did was extremely thoughtless. Sensei gives me a hard, piercing glare. I don't know why, but I realized I just did something I definitely shouldn't have done. With Sensei's severe expression and the pain from my cheek where she slapped me, I felt very, very sad. I'm sorry. Before I knew it, I was crying. Shiki. Then a gentle, warm feeling envelops me. There's no need to apologize. It's true that you did something I should be angry at you for, but it's definitely not your fault. Sensei squats down and hugs me. But you know, if someone doesn't tell you otherwise now, one day you're going to make a mistake you can never take back. That's why I won't apologize. You can hate me all you want if you feel that way. Foreshadowing, maybe? Or maybe this is going to help guide him on whatever journey he goes through in this story. No, I don't hate you, Sensei. Really? Glad you feel that way. I guess it was fate that the two of us met here like this. Well, not really. Sensei began to ask about the scribbles I could see. As I told her about the lines, the black jagged lines that somehow only I could see, Sensei's embrace tightened. Shiki, what you are seeing is something that should never be seen by anyone or anything. Everything in existence has points where they are most easily broken. We who will break down one day are imperfect for this reason. Your eyes have the ability to see the fate of all things. To put it another way, you can see the future. See the future? That's right. You can see death. You don't need to know any more than that. If someday you happen to go down that path, the principles will become clear to you as something that is needed. Sensei, I really don't understand. That's good. It's important that you don't understand now. All I want you to know is that you must never cut these lines on a whim or as a joke, understand? If you do so, your eyes will begin to take the lives of others too lightly, and that is the worst thing that can possibly happen. How much of this is she speaking from experience? Okay, I won't do it if you say so, Sensei. Besides, it kind of hurts my chest. Sorry, Sensei. I'll never do it again. Good for you, Shiki. Never forget the feelings that you have experienced here today. If you stay that way, I'm sure you'll find happiness. Sensei finally lets go of me. But Sensei, I see those lines and get worried. They'll be cut as soon as I trace them, right? Then it wouldn't be weird for my surroundings to come apart at any time. You're right. I'll be able to help you with that at least. It seems as if that's the reason why I'm here. Oh. Sensei sighs and favors me with a warm smile. Shiki, I'll give you a very special present tomorrow. I'll give you your old life back, the one you were living before your accident. Oh, the hell does that mean? The next day, exactly the 7th day after I met Sensei, she arrives in the grassy field carrying a large trunk in one hand. Here, if you put these on, those strange scribbles won't be visible anymore. What she gave me was a pair of glasses, but my eyes are fine. Just put them on. The lenses don't have any magnification or anything. Sensei forces them on me. Suddenly, whoa, incredible. This is amazing, Sensei. I can't see the scribbles anymore, not at all. Of course, I had quite a time stealing Mystic Eye Killer from my older sister to make this Aozaki Aoko masterpiece. Wait, what? Shout out to Toko. Oh my gosh. Mystic Eye Killer. And she used Toko's Mystic Eye Killer to make, like, glasses that I guess make the lines disappear for Shiki. Crazy. So treat them well or there will be hell to pay, got it? Yep. I'll take good care of them. You're incredible, Sensei. You made all those horrible lines disappear just like that. It's like magic. Of course, I am a sorceress after all. Okay, so she's straight up a sorceress. Alongside the likes of Zell Schweinorg, a fucking sorceress. So wait, that means she can use one of the true magics? Giving me a proud smile, Sensei puts her trunk down on the ground. But know this, Shiki. Those lines haven't disappeared. It's just that you can't see them. Once you take the glasses off, you'll be able to see them again. Really? Yes. That's the one thing that cannot be fixed. Your only choice is to keep living your life and do your best with the eyes you have now. No. I don't want these scary eyes. If I cut those lines again, I'll end up breaking my promise to you. Oh, you mean never cutting the lines again? Silly, you can break that promise whenever you like. Really? But you said it was something I shouldn't do. Yes, it is. But that is your gift, Shiki. It's yours to use as you see fit. No one else but you has the right to judge you. But out of all the abilities one can have, yours is terribly unique. If you have such a power, that means there is a meaning behind you having it. God doesn't give us powers for no reason. You might say that you were given the mystic eyes of death perception because one day, a time will come when you will need them. Well, what were Uncle Ben's words? Great power? Yeah. Maybe so. That's why you must not live in denial of their existence. Sensei squats down so our eyes would be level. But you know, that's why you must never forget. You are a very kind and honest person, Shiki. As long as you remain the way you are now, your eyes will never bring forth any wrong. However, I'm not telling you to become a saint. All I'm saying is live true to yourself and become a man in the manner that you think is right. Since you can accept your mistakes and are able to apologize, I know that in 10 years you will become a great man. That being said, Sensei stands and reaches for her trunk. Oh, but I must say, unless in exceptional circumstances, you shouldn't take the glasses off. Special powers attract other special powers. Danger. Only when you decide there is no other way should you take off those glasses, and even then, be mindful of how you use your power. Power in itself is not evil. What is evil rests solely in the hearts of the ones wielding such power. Yo, Aoko is she's so wise, man. What the hell? And she's like, oh, this must be the reason I was drawn here. It's like, she came here just to help Shiki, even though she didn't really know it. But yeah, this is crazy. Wow. I guess being a sorceress, she would know about what she's talking about when it comes to her power, and be it for good or evil, it will be up to you and the choices you make. She picks up her trunk. Sensei doesn't say anything more after that, but deep down, I knew we would have to part. Because yeah, when I think about it, like, if you have a sorcerer or a sorceress and they were evil, they could really fuck shit up, huh? So it makes me wonder, are there any evil sorcerers or sorceresses? I don't know. Because when I think of what I learned of Zell Schweinorg, like, he didn't seem necessarily good or evil, he's just kind of an observer. But she's like actively like shaping TOHNO Shiki's perspective on his powers, his fear of them, you know, whether he should use them, and when the time comes, like, using that power responsibly, not to take lives lightly, that evil is in the heart, not in the nature of just your power. It's very like she doesn't have to do it, like, she's great. It's impossible, Sensei. I can't do it. I won't understand just by myself. The truth is, I was so afraid before I met you. I was only able to return to being me because you were with me. I can't do it. Not even with these glasses. If you're gone, I can't do it. Don't say such things, Shiki. If you tell lies that even you yourself can't believe, you'll only make whoever hears you sad. That's a line. Sensei raises her eyebrows in displeasure and pokes my forehead. Gave him the Sasuke. You know it yourself, don't you? You're alright now. So don't say stupid things and give up on the self that you finally found. Only you can choose to be you. No one else can do it for you. Sensei turns around. Well, this is goodbye. Listen, Shiki. Life is not easy. Everyone's life is a hard, long, rocky road filled with many pitfalls. You have more power than anyone else to do something about that, so pull yourself together. Sensei is leaving. I was sad, but I'm Sensei's friend, so I have to see her off properly. Yes. Goodbye, Sensei. Oh, done. That's right, Shiki. Hold on to that confidence, and always live true to yourself. When you find yourself in trouble, calm down and think things through carefully. Okay? A solution will always present itself if you do. It'll be alright. You'll manage, even on your own. Sensei laughs happily. The wind blows. The field of grass sways in unison. Sensei was already gone. Wow. Goodbye, Sensei. After saying that, I really felt that I would not see her again. All that remained were her many words and these mysterious glasses. It was only 7 days, but she taught me things more valuable than anything else. As I stand there by myself, I feel tears well up in my eyes. Man, I was such a fool. I could only say goodbye. I couldn't even say a single word of thanks to her. I left the hospital soon after that. Afterwards, I didn't return to the TOHNO household, but was taken to live with my relatives instead. But it's alright. TOHNO Shiki will be just fine, even by himself. Wait, so what's the deal with his dad? Because he mentioned him. I know his mom defended him, but should I assume that his dad died too? I'll spend a new life with my new family. And like that, TOHNO Shiki's 9th summer ended. The new autumn arrived, and I think I became more of an adult. Wait, his 9th summer? He's 9 years old? Going through all this? Jeez. Oh. That was abrupt. 1. Inversion Impulse. First day, October 21st. Thursday. Okay. Let me, create a save. And I guess we'll continue. Oh, I love Ako's message to Shiki, man. Dude, she had that just straight up sensei guidance for his powers, for life, how he should view himself and his powers, and Having such an incredible power doesn't inherently make him evil, even though it's capable of, bringing death to anything he traces on the lines. It's up to him, ultimately. As long as he remains how he is, a kind, good, honest person, he'll be just fine. But let's see if that carries him through this story. Autumn. The last traces of summer are disappearing today, a Thursday halfway through October. This is the day when I, TOHNO Shiki, return home. It's been 8 years since I left. Oh. Shiki, hurry up. You're going to be late for school. I hear Keiko-san's voice floating in from the kitchen. Okay, I'm leaving, I call back. I place my hands together in the room that was mine at the Arimas up until now. I'm going. Thanks for letting me live with you these last 8 years. Wow. Wait, so he's like 17 now? I fold my hands together in prayer. Then grabbing my only bag, I leave the room that had become so familiar. I walk through the entrance to the Arima's house, then turn to face it. Shiki. Keiko-san, who had come to the door to see me off, calls my name somberly. See you later. Take care, Mom. What a strange thing to say. I won't be coming back. Never again will I pass through this door as a member of the Arima family. Thanks for looking after me. Please give my regards to Father, too. It's a nice thought to think that in living with his relatives, he was able to find new parents in a way. I'm guessing he's referring to the dad of this household, not his actual father. Should I just assume real dad's dead? Because he mentioned him earlier, but I can't remember exactly what he said. Anyway, Keiko-san simply nods. 8 years. The eyes of the person who had been my mother look so sad. I don't think I've ever seen her like that before. Sure, it'll be hard for you at the TOHNO's house. Please watch yourself. Oh, your body is weak. You mustn't overdo it. I'll be okay. After 8 years, I'm just as healthy as anyone else, so he's going back to his house. I'm a lot tougher than I look. I suppose you're right. But the TOHNOs are different from everyone else. I'm worried they'll be too much for you. I know what Keiko-san means. My home from today forth will be a mansion, an uncommon sight in this day and age. Oh. Not only is the house amazing, but the family itself is highly respected. It's said that they hold significant investments in many corporations. To top things off, it's my true home. The Arimas have only been looking after me. But it's already decided. Yeah, it's something that's decided already. Alright, I'll be heading off then. Thanks for taking care of me. I repeat those words one last time and turn my back on the household I had grown so accustomed to over these past 8 years. So I was wondering why we were leaving, despite being so young. But we're going back to live at our true home. Well, we'll see how that goes. I leave the Arimas and start walking to school with a heavy heart. 8 years ago, I recovered from a serious injury that normally would have meant death. Then I was entrusted to the Arimas, a family branching off from the TOHNO family. I lived with my real parents at the TOHNO mansion up until I was 9. Then I lived with the Arimas for 8 years until now, my second year of high school. Oh, he's in his second year. Okay, interesting. I lived a normal life as an adopted son. From the time I met Sensei, those special circumstances Sensei told me about as she parted never happened, and the glasses hid the lines from me as long as I wore them. The life of TOHNO Shiki was a peaceful one. It meandered along gently until a few days ago. The day when the head of the TOHNO family sent word to me. Could drink water real quick. Get to enjoy this OST. The day when the head of the TOHNO family sent word to me. Return to the TOHNO mansion. The very family that until now had shunned me. Yeah, not a word for 8 years until now, huh? Excuse me. I sigh again. To be perfectly honest, even before the accident, I had never gotten along with the TOHNO household. Maybe as a kid I never liked the formality demanded by the family. See, it's interesting, he keeps referring to them as if they're like not his family. Like it's the TOHNO household, it's the family. Like he's not referring to it as his family. It's almost like, you know, he considered the Arimas his true home. You know, people who truly accepted him and loved him. But you'll feel like it's going to be some difficulty going back there. Perhaps that's why I said nothing when the old man told me I was going to live with the Arimas. I think it turned out well. I got along well with my adopted parents, Keiko-san and Fumio-san. It was as if they were my real parents. For a second I thought he said his sister's name, but I remember his sister's name is Akiha, right? Has she been living at their true home since then? I assume so. She had no reason to move, I guess. Yeah. I lived a normal life in the loving family of the Arimas like a real son, just like I had always wished. I don't regret living there. Except for one thing. My little sister, 1 year younger than me, remained behind with the TOHNOs. Right as I wondered. Akiha, I bet she hates me now. It would only be natural. She had to live in that mansion all by herself under the constant supervision of that hard-headed old man. I could easily imagine what Akiha thought of me, the one who escaped. So, okay. The old man is definitely his father, right? So yeah, that answers that question too, I guess. I could easily imagine what Akiha thought of me, the one who escaped. I let out another sigh. I can't help it. What's going to happen will happen. The day after school, I'll return to my true home. Lord knows what will occur. But for now, I've got more pressing problems. My watch shows 7:45. Homeroom starts at 8 o'clock sharp. 8 o'clock sharp, and anyone who isn't in class by 8 is marked as late. Touching my bag, I start sprinting towards school. I managed to make it to school in less than 10 minutes. I answered from the back gate, accomplishing a feat that would bring the track scouts running if they knew. Come to think of it, today's also the last day I'll come in through the back gate. The Arima and TOHNO houses are on opposite sides of the school, with the Arimas being behind, while the TOHNOs is in front. Obviously, I'll be coming through the front gate in the future. And I quite like the lonely atmosphere back here too. For some reason, the back gate at our school isn't really popular. Only 10 people or so, myself included, actually use it. It's quiet and pretty devoid of people day or night. Clang, clink, clink, clang. Like I said, pretty quiet. The sound of a hammer mixed with distant birds singing reaches my ears. Hammering, huh? Clang, clink, clong. A half-rhythmical ringing comes from one corner of the courtyard. What is that? Homeroom begins in less than 10 minutes. I don't have time to stop and find out, but I am pretty curious. Right now, there's only a few minutes until homeroom. I have to head there right away, or I'm curious, so I'll go take a look. Ah, our first choice. Okay, so, I don't know if Toshiki's the kind of person who would be like, fuck class, let's see what this hammering sound is. But I guess that's for me to decide, right? So, I feel like I'm gonna end up in class anyway, so let's go take a look. I don't know if I necessarily need to save here, but I will anyway. The source of the noise soon becomes apparent as I walk towards the courtyard. A female student is crouching in the middle of the tree-lined path, working with a hammer and nails. What is she doing? There are only 8 minutes left until homeroom. Maybe she doesn't have a watch. At the moment, that's the best I can come up with. Still, to notice and just ignore her would be somewhat cruel. I approach her unhurriedly, trying not to surprise her and speak. Hey, homeroom is starting soon. Huh? The squatting girl raises her face. The ribbon on her uniform displays the color of a third year. The older student looks at me while holding her hammer. That is a tiny-ass hammer. Well, that's probably a regular-sized hammer. It just looks weird. Her gaze through those glasses is so direct, I feel like I'm being pulled in. Her serious eyes make me want to apologize for bothering her. The splint she was facing is rotten beyond use. Come to think of it, our school's rear courtyard is in a terrible state of disrepair. Splints are neglected and the flower beds untended. apparently the teachers intend for the students to conduct a big cleanup at the end of the year, so the maintenance men have done nothing since summer. I take in the situation with a single glance. The girl with the hammer is repairing the broken down splints, paying no mind to the fact that her tidy uniform is being dirtied. She has sweat on her brow, and it looks like she has been swinging her hammer in a most serious manner. But as far as I know, there's nobody in charge of repairing public property at this school. What is it? The older student asked, adjusting her crooked glasses. It's nothing. I was just wondering what you were doing. Ah, as you can see, I'm in the middle of fixing the splints. Yeah, I can see that. That's not what I meant. I was wondering why you are doing something like this. Won't the maintenance people take care of it anyway? Ahaha. The older student laughs to hide her embarrassment. I'm the kind of person who can't stand seeing a mess like this. I just can't leave them alone. It seems as though she is repairing the splints because she just couldn't let them stay that way. What an odd senpai. That's why you're fixing it on your own? If you don't like the mess, why not just avoid coming here? Well, my classroom is over there. Senpai points at the second floor classroom facing the courtyard. My seat is next to the window, so it's easy for me to see the courtyard. Well, usually I just bear it, but when I took my seat today, I was surprised to see all the splints in this area were broken. Senpai's face clouded as if to say, isn't that terrible? Apparently she's upset, although she doesn't look seriously angry. You know what they say, strike while the iron's hot and all. I borrowed the tools from the office and decided to fix them myself. And so the explanation ends. Making a bow, Senpai returns to hammering the nails. Alright, I understand all that, but how about we leave it here for now? Homeroom is less than 5 minutes, and if it's this bad, won't the school get around to fixing it pretty soon? No way! Gripping her hammer, the senpai with glasses shakes her head furiously. Won't be able to concentrate with the garden like this, even if I go to class. It'll just sound like nonsense to me, and then the teacher will say, "Hey you, what are you staring at?" I'll get yelled at for sure. What an odd girl. Senpai continues to grip the hammer while she emphasizes her point. Well, I suppose the teacher would be upset if you kept looking outside. He would, wouldn't he? That's why I have to do it now. With that, Senpai begins her repairs once again, clumsily hammering away. She's obviously not used to using a hammer. Clank, clank, rings the hammer as it hits the wood. By the looks of it, there isn't just 1 or 2 broken splints. Can't begin to guess how long it will take her to repair all of them on her own. Would that hammer make a clank sound? I suppose it would. Hammering nails. The bell begins to ring. Looks like first period started. I give up, considering things have gotten to this point. I head down silently and begin to help repairing the splints. Huh. I'm kinda glad I made this choice. Once I began to help, I quickly realized mending them isn't that difficult after all. Although the older student is not used to making repairs, she is quite skillful anyway. She has already gotten the hang of it, and work is proceeding at a brisk pace. Senpai's movements are quick and sharp, and I enjoy watching her. She really is quite clever. Before I know it, there is only 1 splint left to repair. 30 minutes have passed. I can't stay here any longer, and only 1 more would be no problem for Senpai. Well, I'll be going. I stand up and dust off my pants. The student with the glasses also stands up and begins to stare at me. Come to think of it, just who is she? I hadn't given it any thought because of what I was doing, but when I stopped to consider her, I realized she is quite beautiful. Someone this good looking would be known by every male student. They'd be talking about a 3rd-year beauty. I have to go. Don't work too hard, senpai. She gives an obedient nod. Even though she's older than me, it's almost like dealing with someone younger. Thank you for helping me. I'm glad you did. She makes a quick bow. Be sure to come say hello during lunch. Don't forget to wash your hands, Tohno-kun. Wise words for this quarantine, you hear that? You too, senpai. With that, I wave my hand and leave. Wait. Huh? Have I met you before, senpai? Eh? Senpai cries out in surprise and mischievously puts on a depressed face. Tohno-kun, you forgotten about me? Uh-oh. Abort mission. Forgotten? No, I don't think so. If I had ever met a beautiful woman like her, there'd be no way I'd forget. I almost thought he said that. She looks up at me reproachfully. Those eyes, I'm sure I remember from somewhere, don't I? Come to think of it, we had exchanged greetings once or twice before, hadn't we? See. I'm not gonna say anything. Pressing on. CL Senpai, isn't it? Apprehensively, I suggest her name. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything for anyone like truly experiencing this blind outside of Fate Stay Night and outside of, you know, not general Nasuverse knowledge. Again, I don't know much about her. And you know, I'm pretty sure her name is also in one of the routes, so yeah. I know a couple things about her, but I suppose we'll get to that. I won't say it right now. Sorry, I just got excited there. Yes, and I'm glad you remember. You seem the type to space out and forget, Tohno-kun. I don't think I space out, but there's nothing I can do about the fact that I forgot. See you later then. Sorry for keeping you. CL Senpai bows again. I watch her go, then start to walk towards the school building. Holy shit. When I reach my class, it's already the break after first period. I slip into the room while everyone's busy talking. My desk is the window seat in the very back row, so I can sneak there without drawing any attention. And when attendance is taken in the second period, everyone will probably say, "Hey, when did Tohno get here?" It's a strange quirk in an otherwise dull class. But I guess that plan won't work this time. Yo, truant boy. It's totally unlike you to be late. Who's this cool guy, this fuckboy? I sigh. It feels like reality is being hammered back into me after the pleasant time I spent with Senpai. What's with that sour face of yours? Being late when I'm actually on time? What do you think you're doing? Hey, listen, I'm not coming to school for your sake, you know. What? I'm coming to school for your sake. That's so unfair. Words fail me. I wonder, like I have many times before, how I ended up knowing this guy. His hair dyed orange, his ears pierced. I believe they called him Shiro. His vicious glare that screams he will pick a fight with anyone, anytime, and is wearing of rebellious clothes. Inui Arihiko is the only free-spirited outlaw in our university-oriented high school. That's gonna be a tough name to remember. I'll try to remember Arihiko. You've been bitter enemies since middle school, right? If you make a carefree face like that in front of your rival, you'd better be prepared for trouble. And make it double. In any case, Arihiko is a loud guy. Yo! Morning, Tohno. Before I know it, everyone in class is looking my way and greeting me. Shut up, Arihiko. You're ruining my chance to slip into class unnoticed. And why am I your rival anyway? There are plenty of other tough guys around, so stop bothering me. Well, he still owes me close to 10,000 yen from middle school, so I guess that doesn't make him my enemy. Why are you only mean to me, Tohno? You're like a saint to everyone else. It's not fair. Well, you just figured that out? Life's not fair. Yo, Tohno is savage to this boy. You really are only mean to me. I didn't try particularly hard to be cold to Arihiko. That's just the kind of relationship we have. Fair enough. By the way, Arihiko, what's a chronically late night owl who never shows up until second period doing here in homeroom? It's a little, no, it's very odd. I was thinking that too. I guess being at school on time isn't just for when I happen to wake up early. Well, I won't comment on your hobbies, but what I'm asking is why you woke up early. Why I woke up early? I guess it's because I can't stay out late since all that fuss started. So I actually go to sleep at night now. All that fuss. You've heard the stories about those serial killings, haven't you? Oh. Is this the gas leaks of this visual novel? Serial killings. I see. Come to think of it, I did hear something like that. I feel a tinge of regret at needing Arihiko to remind me. For the past 2 or 3 days, I had been debating whether or not to return to the TOHNO household, but I completely lost touch with the news. What was that again? They've given it some really nasty name, like the freakish serial killings or something. There's more to it. So far, all the victims have been young girls. Yikes. The 8th victim was only 2 days ago. And to top it all off, they were all... Wait, what happened to them again? Arihiko tilts his head in contemplation. I'm an idiot for asking him. Yeah, I remember now. Don't look so cheerful while you remember. All the victims had cross-shaped slashes on their throats. Cross-shaped. No, Inui-kun. Everyone who was killed lost a lot of blood. Oh yeah, that was it. They said it's like some kind of modern-day vampire or something. Vampires, huh? You sure know a lot about this, Yumizuka-san. Not really. It's happening in this town, so it's in the news. You remember it even if you didn't want to. I see. Thought it was happening in a neighboring town, but I guess it moved down here. Well, that surely won't be a big aspect of this story. Well, anyway, that's what happened. Even I wouldn't be going on the streets at night with a killer walking around. So I've been waking up at 7 lately. What? That's it? Having a good reason doesn't make a good story. Where's the fun in that? I sit down while dealing with Arihiko. Man, you're cold. What, did you collapse from anemia already this morning? I'm alright, thanks for asking. If I was anemic 24 hours a day, I'd be dead by now. Yeah, you're right. You say you're okay, then I guess you're okay. The bell rings while we're talking. Hey, class is about to begin. Hurry up and get back to your seat. Yeah, alright. That is the exact bell and melody they use for my high school. Oh, by the way, we'll have lunch today in the cafeteria instead of on the roof. I've invited a special guest, so I look forward to it. With a scheming laugh, Arihiko returns to his seat. See you later, TOHNO-kun. Yeah. Sorry for keeping you, Yumizuka-san. You guys have hard names. Her light footsteps tap across the floor as she returns to her desk. But it's still a mystery to me why she joined our conversation. She's just our classmate. I wonder if she knows more for a reason. It's lunchtime. Now then, where should I eat lunch? Oh, alright. So I thought of this when I saved last time on the last choice. I don't have a lot of save slots, so I have a feeling I'm not gonna, unlike Fate Stay Night that has a whole Tiger Dojo system, it's not about, like, it's not gonna be about getting, like, bad endings and seeing all the different choices on the first playthrough and going back to every single one just to see, like, differences in deaths, because there's only 20 slots and there's a lot of routes, or a lot of endings rather. There's like, what, 5 routes, something like that. So I guess I should just save in the same slot. I mean, sure, I guess so. I guess it's not a big deal. But feel free to instruct me otherwise, if I'm mistaken. Anyway, where should I eat lunch? Go to the hallway to think about it. Cafeteria. Eat lunch in class. So, okay. I don't think these are route-defining choices yet. They're not obvious, that's for sure. Because I know in the little README file that I'm supposed to start with Arsuide, however I say that, with Ark's route. So I don't know. First of all, I don't know when we meet her. I assume she goes to school here, as all important characters do in the Nasuverse. But so I guess this doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna just let's go in the hallway. This is kind of the wild card choice. Who am I gonna run into by doing this? During lunchtime, the hall is packed. Students head to the cafeteria or to their favorite places, lunch is in hand. Caught in the flow of people, I contemplate whether I should go to the cafeteria or the store. I'm somewhat taken aback at my own leisure. If I have time to waste, it'd be better to go to the cafeteria where Arihiko is. I begin walking towards the cafeteria. Okay, there you go. On the way there, a familiar face waves and runs up to me. Oh my gosh. Are we going Xiao route? Thank goodness. I've been looking for you, TOHNO-kun. Oh, Xiao-senpai. Hello. I feel embarrassed for some reason and return her unusual greeting. Am I saying that right? Xiao? Kiel? Is it Kiel or Xiao? Feel free to correct me. Yes, hello. Well, we've already met once today, so I guess it's not proper to say hello. Look at that blush. A small smile floats onto Senpai's face as if she found something amusing. Yeah, now that you mention it, I guess you're right. I avert my eyes and give a lukewarm reply, becoming increasingly embarrassed. I wonder. I should be used to speaking to Senpai like this, but for some reason I'm getting embarrassed. Tohno-kun? Do you have some urgent business? You seem a bit unsettled. No, nothing like that. I don't, but for some reason her every move feels unfamiliar. I can't calm down. It's nothing. More importantly, Senpai, you said you were looking for me. Do you need me for something? Well, I wanted to thank you for this morning, so I was looking for you. For this morning? You mean in the courtyard? Of course. Sorry to ask, but are you going to have lunch? I sigh. Well, people usually eat lunch at lunchtime. Thank you. Great. Then we can eat together. I'll treat you as thanks for this morning, smartass. Let's go to the cafeteria. Eh? Senpai smiles. Grabbing my wrist, she starts to walk. Okay. Why not? I'm down. Strange enough for a third year like Senpai to walk down the second year hall, but this attracts even more attention. The gazes of the students in the hall fall upon Senpai and me, and a murmur of conversation starts. Wait just a second. It's alright, you don't have to. I quickly shake her off my arm. Oh, come on, Tohno. I only did what I did this morning on a whim. There's no need for you to thank me. I draw back from Senpai, well aware of how flushed my face is. There's no need to be so reserved. Work should be rewarded. So please, let me treat you. Senpai grabs a hold of my arm again. It's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I just couldn't say that I'm embarrassed to be with her because we stand out so much. Come on, there won't be any seats left if we don't hurry. I'll listen to the details after we get to the cafeteria. Senpai starts walking, pulling my arm with a tug. Any further questions would bring more stares from the people around us in the hall. I don't know what Senpai is planning, but I peacefully accompany her to the cafeteria. Almost all the seats in the cafeteria are taken. I'd spent about 10 minutes in the hallway, first spaced out, then talking with Senpai. So empty cafeteria seats are pretty much non-existent. Welp, I'll stand in line, Tohno-kun, so please go get some seats. Is there any food you don't like? If there is, now's the time to let me know. Nope, there isn't. I'm not picky with food. I'm the same way, Tohno. As much as everyone hated, like, the school cafeteria food, I kinda liked it. It obviously wasn't my first choice, but it was fine to me. Very well. I won't take long. Senpai lines up with everyone else. Seems my only choice is to obediently accept that she'll be treating me. But there aren't any seats left. I look around the bustling cafeteria. You can't find even 2 seats at this hour, let alone 2 seats to get there. I sigh. There, plain as day, is the table with not only 2, but 3, but 4 unoccupied seats. There's only one student sitting at the table. It seems he noticed me while I was looking around for our seat. Is that our boy? Yo, Tohno! The student vigorously waving his hand is my dear classmate with the dyed orange hair. Of course. Hello, Arihiko. My head hurts, but there isn't anywhere else to sit. I have no choice but to return the wave and walk towards the table where my friend is sitting. Huh. I don't know if any of you experienced the same thing, but I went to kind of a big high school, I guess as most people do. I guess especially in cities. Did any of you ever have supreme anxiety, like finding seats in the cafeteria? Because I didn't really have a group of friends that I could consistently sit with. Like, I had some people I kind of knew and I'd kind of hang out with sometimes. But most of the time, I'd end up, like, eating somewhere in a completely different part of the school, like, in front of a window or something. I had some acquaintances that did that, so I would try to find them. But when they wouldn't meet up, I was like, I guess I'm just by myself in front of a window. I don't know. I had super bad anxiety back then about that. Random thought. You're late. I told you to hurry because I've invited a special guest today. Ooh. What the hell have you been up to? Arihiko begins to complain as soon as we are face to face. Yeah, come to think of it, you did. So who is it? Huh? About that. She promised me yesterday she'd come, but she declined this morning. She said she has someone she wanted to thank or something, so she'd be busy this lunchtime. Oh. It's fucking Xiao. Arihiko sighs as he eats his chikara udon. Someone she wanted to thank? Those words catch my attention. Arihiko, that special guest wouldn't happen to be a third-year student, would she? Whoa. Arihiko's body jumps in shock. A rather energetic girl wearing glasses? Whoa. Arihiko begins quivering. The students at the tables around us stand up as if to make a fast escape. Are you psychic? Arihiko points at me fearfully. No, that doesn't mean I'm psychic, Sorry to keep you waiting. Good to see you found a seat, TOHNO-kun. There. Senpai arrives with a smile, carrying a silver tray. Arihiko's eyes are wide open in surprise. Huh? Inui-kun? What a coincidence. Still smiling, Senpai takes her seat. Arihiko gives a choked response. Here you go, TOHNO-kun. Please, eat until you're full. Even after all this time, I still can't shake off her smile. Alright. In that case, thanks for the food. Taking Arihiko's dumbfounded stare in stride, I sit down. Senpai sits in front of me while Arihiko sits beside me. Itadakimasu. Putting my hands together with a clap, I look down at the tray Senpai brought. And on the menu is curry rice, and curry udon. I don't get it. Senpai? Yes? What is it, TOHNO-kun? About this, what's going on? What do you mean? It's lunch, isn't it? What else does it look like? What else, you say, but all I see is curry. Yes, it's curry. Senpai laughs happily. The problem is they all look like curry. There's 3 dishes. Of course. You're a boy, so you eat a lot. I have just one, so please take whatever you like. Okay. In that case, I'll take the curry rice and curry udon. The other choice is hell. Make sure to finish it, TOHNO-kun. After all, you aren't picky with food, are you? I'm a little frightened right now. There isn't a shred of antagonism in Senpai's smile, nor is this some kind of joke. She truly had good intentions. Yes. Itadakimasu. I dig into the curry rice with my spoon in despair. And then... TOHNO-kun. From beside me came the cry of a dead man being reborn. How long are you going to ignore your dear best friend? Arihiko's elbow sinks into the side of my stomach with a thud. Inui-kun, do you know TOHNO-kun? Do I know him? We've been best friends since middle school. My best friend hits the table with a bang for emphasis. Really? The person who helped me this morning was TOHNO-kun. Oh yeah? If you had told me his name, I would have brought him here. So did this guy do something for you? Yes, he helped me fix my splints. Huh? He helped you fix your shin splints? Arihiko frowns suspiciously. Well, I guess you would consider helping someone fix their shin splints a bit odd. Oh, fixing splints. Please don't make me angry when I am eating. Xiao-senpai gets— wait, does she have shin splints? Or was that just completely a joke? He seems to be someone you can never tire of watching. Listen, y'all. I know I'm supposed to do the arc route first. I haven't met her yet. I really like Xiao right now. Fixing splints? Ah, the splints in the courtyard. You were at it again? You sure enjoy that kind of thing, senpai, but you'd better be off if you gave up. If you keep doing things like that, the teachers will start expecting you to do them. That's alright. I do it because I enjoy it. You shouldn't talk about the teachers like that though, you know. They really care about the school. Lifting my mic a bit from my posture. I'm finding it difficult to follow the conversation. Senpai, don't tell me that you normally do that sort of thing. Yeah. Didn't you know, TOHNO? Xiao-senpai is so handy they call her the shadow president of the student council. Ah. White tea poison. No, I was asking senpai. Wait, never mind. What on earth is the shadow president? Is she strong? I ask with my eyes. Yeah, responds Arihiko with an exaggerated nod. She's quite something, totally unlike the student council, which is the student council in name only. She's a third year who'll solve anything for you if you ask her. You even got a fan club among the first years. And if something happens, the teachers all rely on her. There isn't a single teacher who complains about what Senpai does. Arihiko speaks with pride as if he was actually talking about himself. Damn, Xiao. Wow, Xiao Senpai sure is amazing. Even the teachers rely on you. I look at Senpai, impressed. Aw, that expression. Ah, yes. Thank you. Senpai turns bright red, embarrassed. She looks like a cute-ass, Issei in that sprite. Oh my gosh. Senpai churns her curry rice with her spoon. I guess it's to hide her embarrassment, but it reminds me of the enemy I have to face. Curry rice by itself is fine, but after that awaits curry udon. My doctor warned me not to eat too much, but I don't think there's anything else in this situation that I can do. So I start to dig into the rice. Munch munch. Having decided to try to finish one dish quickly, I direct all my concentration to the rice. Meanwhile, Senpai and Arihiko begin talking about their own homes for some reason. I already know that Arihiko doesn't live with his parents, but it seems Senpai is also living by herself. Uh-huh. Apparently Senpai's apartment is quite close to school. It's roughly between the main street and the park. So Tohno-kun, where do you live? Huh? I silently eat my food when Senpai, peering at me, asks a completely unrelated question. I gotta not read so fast. I'm just so excited. Where? Why do you ask, Senpai? You already heard where I live, right, Tohno-kun? I think it's unfair if I don't know where your house is. Unfair? You worry about the strangest things, Senpai. It's not strange. If I don't know where you live, I can't visit you if something happens, right? Stop eating the curry rice. I have the feeling that something has been said that I should be jubilant about. A visit? You mean you'd come and visit me if I catch a cold or something? No, I wouldn't. I don't have any plans to visit at the moment. Smiling, Senpai replies instantly, as if stating the obvious. Am I the only one disturbed by Xiao? I really like her, and I'm also very disturbed. It seems like the euphoria is premature. Senpai doesn't seem to have any unusual intentions. I see now, that's just the way she is. Okay. I guess I have to tell you. Yeah, my house is nearby too, only a 40-minute walk. That's nearby? Really? There's a residential district on top of the hill, right? Just go a little further and you're there. Oh yeah, you're moving today, right? Arihiko strikes his hand on the desk. Senpai tilts her head slightly. Moving? Tohno-kun, were you a transfer student? Huh? Senpai asks a strange question. Arihiko meets my gaze. Listen, I've been here since the first year. We've known each other since then, right? Why are you asking if I'm a transfer student now? But Tohno-kun, you moved yesterday, so... Moving doesn't automatically make you a transfer student. I'm just changing my address, not my school. Until now, I've been living with some relatives in the neighboring town. I'm just going back to my real home, that's all. Senpai, who wears a look of surprise, seems to understand. I see, you've only changed your residence. So now you live in the outskirts of town. Yeah. It's that colorful place on top of the hill. I'm moving there today. Huh. Could that possibly be the Tohno-san mansion? Senpai asked with some hesitation. The Western-style house at the top of the hill was probably seen as something special by residents of this town. A Western-style house at the top of the hill, huh? Heard that before. I haven't been there for 8 years, but even in my memories, the Tohno mansion was ridiculously large. Yeah, that's right. I don't think it's the right place for me either, but it's too late now that I'm done moving. You don't seem too happy about it. It's neither good nor bad. I don't quite understand it either. Well, even if it is your house, it's been 8 years, right? I can understand if you're feeling strange. It'll probably feel like someone else's house for a while. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I wonder if that's so. I haven't gone back yet, so I don't know. Well, I'm a bit relaxed since I've always got a refuge at your place. Yeah, right. My house is no refuge of yours. When you come over during the holidays, my sister treats you better than me. That's probably because Arihiko has terrible behavior, but I refrain from telling him that in the interest of preventing the conversation from getting any worse. To be honest, it's not pleasant to have my home raised as a topic of conversation. Wow, you two certainly get along well, Senpai peers at Arihiko and me. No way. Me and Tohno would never help each other, no matter how much trouble we were in. This is like Shiro and what's it called? Shinji, except not twisted. In other words, we're enemies, mademoiselle. Arihiko says in a fed up tone. I'm getting pretty fed up myself with this pseudo-foreignerisms too. That's funny. But your relationship is so good that Tohno-kun has stayed over at your house before, right? Doesn't that mean you get along really well? You're wrong, senpai. That damn Tohno is too reserved towards his parents, and he'd come over to my place every vacation. He's reserved towards them because they're taking care of him. That's why he comes over to my place, where we conveniently have an empty room. Since he looks pretty decent, my sister took a liking to him, and he shamelessly comes to stay with us without paying a cent. Arihiko's fist trembles as if to say unforgivable. You know, I actually like Arihiko. Taking care, Tohno-kun? Ah, Arihiko clamps a hand over his mouth. Sorry, I should have thought before I spoke. It's okay. You didn't say anything bad. I continue to eat my food without looking at Arihiko. Really? Yeah, you're right. If you complained about that, you'll be in for some punishment. Arihiko nods to himself in agreement. His overwhelming optimism is something I'm truly envious of. So I'm quite affected by allergies during this time, so my nose is a bit stuffy, which makes reading it a little bit hard, especially that this visual novel, you know, with Fate Stay Night and Ryotsu Nua getting the voice acting, I'm reading all the dialogue in this visual novel compared to getting the breaks in Fate Stay Night. So yeah, I may have to like take water breaks more often, just a heads up. I'm sorry, Tohno-kun. Did you not get along with your previous family? No, that's not it. He has no problem with the Arimas. Oh, the Arimas were the family who took care of him. They're really nice people, and from what I could tell, they're a happy family. Even so, he refused to be their adopted kid, and he escaped to my place every vacation. Sheesh, just what were you not satisfied with anyway? There's nothing I wasn't satisfied about. It's just that I've received so much from them already. I didn't want to be a further burden on them. Ah, wow. I was wondering. I finished my rice as a reply. Now only the curry udon is left. It's okay, senpai. Sorry for making you listen to something so boring. Not at all. I'm sorry for asking you something so strange. Senpai forces herself to look cheerful. The topic might be fine for a long-time friend like Arihiko, but a complex matter like this would only have been troublesome for senpai. And to prove my point, senpai sits there uneasily. Ah, senpai, sorry, but I've got something private to talk to Tohno about. Would you mind leaving? I like the way he said that. Oh my gosh, Arihiko has no problems making such an offensive request. Isn't that phrase an indirect, no, a direct way of saying, we don't want you, senpai, so get lost? Pretty much. You idiot, what do you think you're saying? We can discuss those things anywhere. And senpai is still finishing her lunch. Despite all the talking with Arihiko, senpai has finished her rice anyway. No, I understand. Well then, I'll be leaving. Senpai lowers her head in a quick bow and leaves. Only Arihiko and I remain at the table. I sigh. Well, it looks like senpai was having a hard time too, so it was for the best, but you were really pushing it there, Arihiko. Well, it's not like I had a choice. Anyways, I guess I'll take the role of the guy that ends up disliking. She ends up disliking. Arihiko slurps away at his chikara udon. Seems it has gone cold while we were talking to senpai. Sorry. You were trying to hit on senpai, weren't you? Of course. She's probably the #1 girl at her school. Ah. She's our Tosaka. But if she's the type to care about something like that, then she's not worth it. Oh yeah, I really do have something to talk to you about in private. Arihiko's voice turns serious. I split my chopsticks with a snap and begin to eat my udon. What's wrong? Why so serious all of a sudden? I'll let you know right now that I don't have any money. From today onwards, I'm going to be living life as a penniless student. It's not that, damn it. What I want to know is this. What's really going on with you, Tohno? What do you mean? You've been at the Arima since primary school, right? I don't know why, but it's been 8 years already. Your dad has basically disinherited you. Why is he calling you back all of a sudden? I see. In his own strange way, Arihiko is worried about me. He didn't disinherit me. He just kicked me out of the house somehow. Ah. So yeah, that was something I was kind of wondering about too. Because he didn't go back to his home after the whole incident. And then there was the car crash, apparently. Which I don't know if it was just like a cover-up for that tragedy at the very beginning, or if that actually happened. Because I know that, but what I do know is that the Mystic Eyes of Death Perception in Shiki Ryogi's case, in her death experience, awakened her eyes. Like, in coming so close to death, she was able to awaken them. So, maybe Tohno actually was in a car accident, and that's what awakened the eyes, or it could have been a cover-up for the situation back then, and he still got really hurt close to death, and that's what awakened them. But yeah. But then again, they did say he had the glass shard that was in him, so maybe that was a separate incident. Tohno-kun, if there ever was a family that kicked their kid out of their house somehow, it's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. Oh, it's a party joke, but it's so boring it's not funny. Yeah, his dad's really fucked up. Like, the fact that he sent him away after that. Super weird. I wonder if the dad knows about Tohno's, I won't say condition, but about his ability somehow? Like, why Tohno specifically, right? I know Tohno has never really gotten along, or Shiki rather, hasn't really gotten along with his Tohno side of the family, but... I guess we'll see. Arihiko spreads his arms and shrugs. Yeah, I guess you're right. If you get kicked out of the house, all you can really do is laugh. And then he said some cliche line like, never step foot in this house again, or something, right? That's what people would call disinheritance. Come to think of it, I've never heard why you were disinherited. Who knows? That's something I'd like to know too. Well, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. Grabbing his bowl with both hands, Arihiko drains what is left of his chikara udon. Lunchtime is short. Following Arihiko, I decide to quickly finish my curry udon. The last class of the day ends. I don't feel like going to the mansion right away, so I just blankly stare out of the window overlooking the school grounds. The classroom is dyed orange by the sunset. It's like red watercolor paint, and it hurts my eyes. I don't like red. Ah. I wonder if it reminds him of the red of back then. It feels like it soaks deep into the back of my eyes, and I want to throw up. It seems I am weak against the things that resemble blood. No, I should say I'm weak against blood itself. 8 years ago, I had a near-death experience. I was in an accident where I was injured in the chest, and I teetered between life and death for days. There you go. I should have died instantly, but miraculously I survived. Maybe it's because of the great medical treatment. However, the injuries were so severe that I don't even remember the accident. 8 years ago, when I was a child, I felt a thud pass right through the middle of my chest, and I passed out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. All I could remember afterwards was the pain and the cold. I don't remember much of the accident, but even today, the scar on my chest remains. I guess numerous fragments of glass pierced my chest, leaving burn-like scars there and in my back. Actually, I was quite surprised at being saved. Ever since then, I frequently collapsed from an anemia like dizziness and caused a lot of trouble for others. Oh, that sucks. Maybe that's why my old man believed I was unfit to be heir to the Tohno household and entrusted me to our relatives. Huh. The wound on my chest, huh? The huge scar in the middle of my chest, hidden from view by my uniform. Now that I think about it, after that accident was when I started to see those lines. Exactly. I'm able to forget them, thanks to the glasses that Sensei gave me. But I think I would have completely gone mad if I never met her. That's the thing, man. This, This reminds me of another show I'm watching. Because he met her that day, it set him on a pretty good course. Because who knows what would have happened to him if he had to live with seeing those lines and fearing the potential of his power. This really reminds me of another show I'm watching. Oh, wow. Keiko-san, the person who had been my mother up until now, said when I left that the TOHNO household wasn't normal. No problem. I'm not a normal person myself. Adjusting my crooked glasses, I pick up my bag. I can't stay in the classroom forever. Now then. Huh. So I can get a hold of myself and go to the mansion or stay in school a bit longer. Huh. I'm gonna leave the first slot alone in case I have to do things differently for the route, but I don't know. Maybe I should just stick with whatever it gives me. So I want to talk about really quickly. Is it possible? Because he just mentioned right there, that Keiko-san, you know, his adopted mother, mentioned that when he left, the TOHNO household wasn't normal. Okay, when he left, I thought she just meant in general. So I'm curious about who are the magi, who's a magus in this world that we've seen thus far. You know, I have an idea of certain characters, but I don't know if like TOHNO, if Shiki, I don't know, like, yeah. I have a lot of questions. We'll get to that. But yeah, I'm just wondering about if magecraft is gonna be a big thing in this story, or if it's gonna not be addressed so much. I don't know, but we'll see. Well, I have to do this anyway, right? I have to go back to the mansion anyway, so let's see what happens if I stay. As soon as I step out into the hallway, I run into a familiar face. Huh? What's up, senpai? Oh my gosh, again. Do you have some business here at the second-year classrooms? Yes. Business with the second-year student, to be precise. CL senpai approaches with a smile. Listen, I have some nice snacks here, but no one to talk to. It would be a waste to eat them all by myself, so I came to catch an idle-looking person to talk to. Someone to talk to. But there's no one left in the classroom. It's the same with all the other classes, too. You don't usually come to the second-year classrooms anyway, do you? You're on the lower floor, right? If she wanted someone to talk to, aren't there plenty of third-year classmates she could talk to? She really didn't need to come all the way up here. Shouldn't you think about asking your third-year classmates? Conversation would probably be better. Yes, but today I'm in the mood to talk to younger guys. Please don't ask for a reason, it's just on a whim. Well, I won't ask. I probably wouldn't be able to understand even if she told me. Maybe not. Senpai's smile disappears as she stares into my face. Are you free right now, TOHNO-kun? Well, if having nothing to do means I'm free, then I'm definitely free. Senpai grabs hold of my sleeve. Well then, you are now caught. Let's go have some tea. Senpai invites me with a smile. There's no reason for me to decline the offer, and besides, it should be fun talking with Senpai. Sure, I'll come along, if it's okay with you. Then it's decided. Alright, let's go. Still holding my sleeve, she begins walking down the hall with a light gait. It's crazy, ever since we helped her that morning, she's been really like on us. I wonder if that first choice set the course for like all this to happen. It would have to, right? Because otherwise I wouldn't have run into her and she wouldn't have wanted to eat with me. Am I inadvertently on this route now? Huh. Wow. Our school has a room like this. Could it be for the tea ceremony club? Yes, it's the tea ceremony club's room for now. It seems like it hasn't been used up until I came though. Senpai steps onto the tatami mat and starts preparations with a rattling noise. A club room, huh? If that's the case, won't the other club members be coming? It'd be bad for an outsider like me to be here, right? Senpai? It's okay. It may be the tea ceremony club, but there aren't any other members except for me. Oh, okay. Thanks to that, I can use it freely during break time and after school. Here we go. She just has her own private room. Alright. Smiling, Senpai begins spreading the cushions. Tea is tea, but it looks like this is really going to be a serious tea ceremony. To be honest, I'm a bit overwhelmed. Senpai, I don't have the slightest clue what to do. What are you talking about? I only know up to the pouring bit myself. With that blunt reply, Senpai put the teapot, some cups, and some tea cakes onto a plate. We are just going to have a casual conversation, so there's no need to be so formal. It isn't any fun that way, is it? Smiling softly, Senpai pours tea into her own cup. I just don't get you, Senpai. Mumbling, I pour my own tea. I slurp some. Picking up the tea cake and putting it in my mouth, I sip again at the tea. I was never involved with it, but the Arima family is a prominent tea ceremony family. Being raised in a household like that, I'm used to drinking tea and doing nothing. Senpai looks at me with a somewhat troubled expression. What's wrong, Senpai? You look a bit unhappy. Eh? I was just a little surprised at how calm you were about all of this, TOHNO-kun. Really? My family is a strict one, so I'm used to those kind of things. More importantly, Senpai, didn't you have something you wanted to talk to me about? I do. The continuation of what we were talking about during lunch. What we were talking about during lunch? You mean about my family? Senpai nods to indicate a yes. So, okay, ever since then, I've been very curious about her intention. Like, this feels like information gathering. I know, like, TOHNO can, like, kind of see through that she does have good intentions, that she's genuinely, like, you know, who she is. You know, despite kind of coming off a little weird, but it makes me wonder. Because what I know about her, and it isn't much, but the one thing I know about her is very important. And Shigi doesn't know, so I'm wondering. I don't know. Water is needed. Allergies suck. Senpai nods to indicate a yes. If you don't mind, I would like to hear more about it. I was curious about it since we stopped halfway. It's not that I mind, but hearing about my family isn't very interesting. It'd be a waste of time. I don't mind if it's not interesting, I just want to hear about it. You sure are eccentric, Senpai. Maybe I am, Senpai laughs. Alright then. Let's continue from before. Yo, the abrupt, like... when the music cuts abruptly, it's just an instant, like tone shift. I don't think I snapped loud enough to get through. But you know what I'm saying. It just completely, like... and I know it transitions to another song. But it's just so, like, quick. It's, like, kind of unnerving. Alright then, let's continue from before. You said you moved to your home. What do you mean by that? Senpai asks, full of curiosity. Well, the conversation this afternoon must have been pretty fragmented for Senpai since she didn't know any of the circumstances. Let's see. Basically, I'm a guy who's been disinherited. I was seriously injured after getting caught up in a traffic accident when I was 9 years old. The injuries themselves somehow healed, but after that I easily collapsed from anemia and threw up my food. That's why I was entrusted to my relatives, the Arimas, while I recuperated. Oh, so in other words, the Arimas have been your parents who raised you since you were 9, right? That's right. I knew my old man hated me for some reason, and that once I had been entrusted to the Arimas, I would never go back home. Go back to the TOHNO mansion, that is. That's why, well, I thought I'd just continue to live as a son of the Arimas forever. That's what I thought, but my old man kicked the bucket recently. Oh, okay. That's when they told me to return to the mansion now that my old man is no longer there. And I finally agreed. That's what happened. Okay, his dad died. And that pretty much is my domestic situation. I end my story like that. Ciel Senpai gives a little nod silently. May I just ask one thing? Sure, if I can answer it. Go ahead. Alright, then I'll ask. Did you dislike your previous family? My previous family, the Arimas who had raised me as my parents? My mother and father, who weren't my real parents, and the unfamiliar building which without a doubt was home to strangers. But completely regardless of that. No, I liked them. They were people who didn't care that I wasn't related to them by blood. They were so warm to me that I felt bad about being depressed all by myself. And for them to love me no matter what, I didn't think it was a bad thing. I was loved by these people. That's why soon, even one day sooner, I have to truly become family to them. I had been telling myself those words since I was young. Since a very, very long time ago. Over and over I swore till I would practically pass out. Just like Arihiko said, I didn't have a single complaint about the Arima family. They treated me well, and I think I responded to their affection too. Between us, even though I knew we were just playing at being family, even if it was all just an act, I didn't feel any pain. No, I was happy instead. In a way, I had considered the Arima parents and me to be the ideal nuclear family. But it was no good, was it? Yeah, despite everything, there was a line I couldn't cross. This isn't your real family. No matter what I did, I couldn't get those words out of my head. I knew I should have been ignoring it, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know if you'd call it a childhood experience, but it had already become like a curse to me. Somehow, no matter where I was, I felt like a stranger to my family. Senpai is silent. Avoiding my gaze, she huddles her shoulders apologetically. See? It was boring after all, right? That's why I said it would be a waste of time. No, that's not true. It was a very meaningful story. Senpai forces a smile to try and defuse the situation. But it was a little surprising because I had thought of you as an easygoing person. Well, I basically am a pretty easygoing person. It's my personal philosophy to enjoy the present as much as possible. People are happier enjoying what is to come rather than being concerned about what happened before, right? Well, actually, that was an opinion I had inherited from Arihiko. Huh. Enjoy what is to come? That sounds nice. Senpai sips her tea with a very gentle smile. I follow Senpai's example and place my lips on the cup. This is a nice little conversation. We're learning things. With a slurp, the bitter tea washes down my throat with just a hint of sweetness. An abrupt cut. I walk along a different path than the one I usually take. Passing through unfamiliar streets, I slowly approach the TOHNO mansion. The surroundings are not completely unfamiliar. After all, I had lived here until I was 9 years old, 8 years ago. This is not the first time I had taken this path back to the mansion. My feelings are a little complex. The path home is nostalgic yet fresh. Up until just now, I had not looked forward to returning to the TOHNO household. Now it doesn't seem so bad. The house I lived in until I was 9 years old. Right now my sister Akiha is in that utterly un-Japanese Western-style mansion. TOHNO Makihisa, my old man who hated me and the master of the TOHNO household, died a few days ago. My mother died from illness after Akiha was born, so the TOHNOs had dwindled down to me and my sister. So who's the person at the very beginning? When you open the visual novel, that sequence, who is that? Because yeah, that can't be Shiki. Huh. My mother died from illness after Akiha was born, so the TOHNOs had dwindled down to me and my sister. Being the eldest son, you would think I would stand to become the TOHNO heir, but I have no such privilege. To become the TOHNO heir means being bound by a strict upbringing. I have lost count of the number of times my father scolded me over my dislike of not being able to live freely. That was when I got involved in that accident and my body became weakened. My father saw it as a good opportunity to get rid of me. What a dick. His reasoning was something along the lines of someone who could die at any moment can't become the heir, even if he is the eldest son. Sadly for my father, I betrayed his expectations by making a recovery, but my sister Akiha was already deemed to be the heir of the TOHNO household. So I've heard that Akiha, who was already being raised harshly in order to become a proper daughter of the TOHNO household, received an even harsher upbringing since then. That was a long time ago. I played together with Akiha in the mansion back before the accident. After that, I never saw her again. Apparently, Akiha tried to visit me a few times when I first was entrusted to the Arimas. Unfortunately, we were never able to meet because I had to go to the hospital every day. We completely lost contact after Akiha went to a boarding school. Unlike Akiha, I became isolated from the main family. That's why I can live freely like this. My high school is just an average high school and our chance of contact was pretty much zero. My old man died and I received word telling me to come back. To be blunt, I had no intention whatsoever of returning to the TOHNO house. But Akiha is at that house. When When we were children, Akiha was an obedient child, always looking frightened, as if she were constantly enduring something. She would always follow close behind, her footsteps pattering behind me. She was frail, and her long black hair and fancy Western clothes made her resemble a French doll. I am worried about her living all alone in that big mansion with the old man gone. But more than anything, I feel guilty after pushing all the TOHNO family responsibilities on her and selfishly living a free life by myself. Perhaps my acceptance to return to the mansion is like my apology to Akiha. Ah, it's that guilt. You asked to see her. The TOHNO mansion is unnecessarily big. Surrounded by iron railings, you could say the entire lot is abnormally expansive, being so large that a whole elementary school could fit inside. Damn, the garden surrounded by trees is more like a forest. The mansion is at the heart of that forest, and there are a few other buildings separated from it. I didn't think anything of it when I was a child, but now that I have lived in an ordinary household for 8 years, the excessive size almost feels criminal. The gates aren't locked. I push them open and head towards the mansion doors. They tower oppressively, bearing down on any visitors. Beside the iron double doors is an unmatching doorbell. Alright. Shaking off my nervousness, I press it. There isn't any affectionate ding-dong chime from the doorbell. The oppressive silence continues for a few seconds. Then the sound of pattering footsteps behind the door indicates someone's presence. We have been waiting for you. Door opens with a creak. Inside lay the lobby I remembered and a young girl in an apron. Thank goodness. You're so late I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset. The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. Ah, no, that's I'm so taken aback by your outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little. So she's a maid, I guess? You're Shiki-sama, aren't you? Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama. You are, right? Oh, please don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there. The girl's mannerisms are like those of a mother scolding her child. But in spite of that, there's a smile on her face, and it doesn't break the warm feeling about her. She wears an apron over a kimono. She comes out to greet guests and addresses someone like me with Sama. This must mean that she's... Oh, are you one of the maids here by any chance? The girl answers my question with nothing but a smile. Come, you must be tired. Please do come in. Akiya-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room. Oh shit. The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads towards the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow, a full smile on her face. Welcome home, Shiki-sama. Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitatingly. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years or they had it refurbished since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow. I brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Kohaku. I think she's one of the routes too. Thank you. It seems that maid's name is Kohaku. Kohaku-san gives a small bow as if to say farewell and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and 2 girls I don't recognize. Huh. Well, we see sis right there. It has been a long time, Nissan. Says the girl with the long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a yeah. I don't think it can be helped that this Akiha that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiha I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family. She's wearing a sailor uniform. Nissan? The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiha, but it seems like Akiha already recognizes me as her brother. You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk? Akiha throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiha. People do change over the course of 8 years, Nissan. You're at an age of change, or did you think we would remain as we were forever? What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiya's words. Yo, that harsh upbringing definitely shaped. She had to get tough. That's for sure. No, you've definitely changed, Akiha. You've become more beautiful than before. That isn't flattery. It's just how I really feel. And, indeed. But you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all. Akiya answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiya does not think well of me. If you are feeling well, let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details of why you were called back here, Nissan? I've heard nothing more than a sudden come back to the mansion, though I found out that the old man passed away in the papers. The head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Word of Tohno Makihisa's death reached his son, Tohno Shiki, via the newspaper after the funeral. Jeez. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, the disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100 yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place. Jeez. I am sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about father. Akiya quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I am sorry. It's somewhat comforting to hear you say that. Akiya's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot let go of their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. For someone like me who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need. Wow. Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tohnos to be entrusted to the Arimas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tohnos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he's no longer with us, so there's no longer any need for you to live with them. That is why I had you come back here. That's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place? That may be so, but now I am the head of the Tohno family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now. Wow. Haha, I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiha. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to. I will not ask more of you, but do try to, or are you saying you are unable to do what I already have? Akiya shoots me a cold look. Feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 8 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiya just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me. You do not need to try as long as you get the results. Her pose is dignified, her words merciless. Elegant, you might say. Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here. I do not care for having too many people around, so I cleared everyone out. Eh? Hold on a second, Akiha. You've cleared everyone out? You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I have put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems. Do they have places to stay? Wait, no problems? Well, I guess this is a rich family, so you're going to get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that. Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here? Well, it's true that I would feel relaxed, but you've only just become head of the family, Akiha. If you go around abusing your powers like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet. Even the old man didn't go against their opinions. Indeed, that's why father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer. I'm going to put up with... Look, Akiha. Enough. Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please, just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways. Akiya says sullenly, looking away a little. Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her, Hisui. I think that is also a route. So we have routes with the maids as well, but I believe those are locked. Until I do either Arc or Xiao, I'm pretty sure. From what would I remember from the readme. She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly. This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable? Eh? Hold on, personal maid? You mean, in other words, she's your servant. Akiya declares as if it were obvious. Savanto, maid. I can't believe it. Fitting with the western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself. Would that include the cooking and the laundry? Akiya was pretty sharp at pointing these things out. At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the TOHNO house now. Please accept everything given to you. I can't say anything, and my eyes drift towards Hisui. I assume and I let my eyes. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll. Well then, Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yes, my lady. Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence. I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama. Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby as well. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally into the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. But remember, the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and west wings have the same floor plan. Your room is this way, Shiki-sama. Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servant's room should be on the first floor of the west wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun is already set. This is a creepy looking image. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. Kinda feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. Did you say something, Shiki-sama? Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. I guess this is what they call being at a loss for words. The room Hisui led me to is not one made for a mere high school student to live in. Is this my room? Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you. No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little note really too fancy for me. Shiki-sama? It's fine. I'll gladly use this room. Yes, this room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you will find anything unsatisfactory with it. Oh wow, it's just straight up his old room. There's something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room? That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken? Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Yeah, she's been pretty robot until now. But I'm sure there's good reason for that. Well, it might be now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here though. I was living in a 6.5 mat-sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel. I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the TOHNO house, Shiki-sama. You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards. Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require? No, not really. Why do you ask? There was very little delivered. If there is anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask. I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentified owner. Huh. White ribbon, huh? That's all. Anyways, you don't have to worry about the luggage. This fancy room is more than enough for me. I understand. Well then, I shall come to call you in an hour's time. An hour? For dinner, you mean? Yes. Please relax until then. As expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. But But even if she tells me to relax, just how am I supposed to do that here? The clock says it's 6 o'clock. Usually I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion? A television? Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare troubled face and stares off into space. There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. Wait, they made use of one? So did they bring one and then take it back? Or did they take the one that was here? Cause that's fucked up, but I assume they brought it, then just left with it. Hold on, visitors? Like who? For how long? Relatives. The eldest son of Kugamine-sama from a branch of the family, Kozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son came to stay for close to 3 years. Just letting you know now, I'm not remembering any of these names. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you'd call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything bad about them. Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch the TV. Akiya, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Huh. Well, there you go, that explains that. Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that makes impossible with just any old half-hearted effort. One day, we will make her smile in such a route. Well, there was a library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly, she looks straight at me. I believe there's one in Nessan's room. Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what? A television. I remember seeing one in Nessan's room. Hisui says as if remembering something from many years ago. Hold on. Nessan? Don't tell me you're talking about Kohaku-san. Yes. Right now the only people working at this mansion are Nessan and I. So they're sisters. Now that she mentions it, they do look alike. I just couldn't connect them as sisters because Kohaku-san is always smiling so warmly, and Hisui is always expressionless. Huh. I wonder about that. I see. Kohaku-san does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at going to Kohaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'd be in for from Akiya if I started watching television. Seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the TOHNO family from now on. Alright. I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. Got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. Dinner takes place with Akiya and I being face to face. Guess it's natural here as Hisui and Kohaku-san do not eat with us, standing behind us to tend to our needs. I thought it would be natural if all 4 of us ate together, so you could say I'm caught off guard by this inexplicably tense dinner. I should mention at this point that I've totally forgotten anything related to table manners by now. Well, I do remember little pieces, so it's not like I'm a complete amateur, but humans tend to pack away unused memories into the corners of the mind. Tension was actually quite thrilling, with every one of my movements causing Akiya to raise an eyebrow. When I think about how I'll have to go through this every day, though, it's really depressing. Welp, finishing dinner, I returned to my room. It's still only just past 8 at night. It's too early to sleep, so what should I do? Huh. What do I do? I can't just stay in my own room. I mean, this is fun. But Akiha. I don't know. Let's do this. So, okay. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Now we'll continue. I know technically I should keep going and end it whenever the day ends. That'd be ideal, but I should stop now. So, pretty cool start to this. Obviously this is all very still introductory. It is interesting to note that the person who is in the prologue sequence, maybe not the prologue, but the very first part of the visual novel at the beginning, was not Shiki, because apparently his mom died of illness shortly after Akiha was born, and that his accident was actually just a car accident, and his near-death experience is what awakened his mystic eyes of death perception. So, yeah, that makes sense. So who is that at the very beginning? That's my question. I wonder when we're gonna meet Ark, and who the hell she is, because I don't really know, like, what she is or who she is. I just know what she looks like. I'm wondering what Ciel's deal is gonna be as far as her motivation. Her being super interested in TOHNO, I guess due to me helping her. Yeah. And her being interested in us being a transfer and what we thought of our previous family. Yeah, I do wonder about her. We've met Akiha and our two mates Kohaku and oh gosh, what's her name? Kohaku and Hisui. So yeah, apparently those are all routes. I think those are all the routes. I think it's Ark, it's Ciel, Akiha, which is weird if it's like a romantic thing, but Hisui and Kohaku. So I think so. But yeah, pretty cool, man. It trips me out to see another Shiki with mystic eyes of death perception in very similar circumstances. Even the way it played out up until, like, you know, Aoko visiting TOHNO. It's like a mirror situation. It's kind of great. But Aoko as a person really surprised me. She's like she's very blunt, and she's very like, but she's like super caring. Like she recognized the turmoil within Shiki and the fear of his own power and what he was going through, which she completely sympathized. She probably related to it to a great extent, considering she's a sorceress. Like, her power has to be off the charts. So it really makes me wonder. As a sorceress, you know, implying she uses like true magic. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, those are all the things. It was cool. Kind of getting the introduction so far. So we'll see where the hell it goes from here, man. I'll try to make the future parts longer. Same with Fate Stay Night, but yeah. Again, I'm gonna have to hopefully get a better allergy medication so that it's not so difficult for me to read, especially because I'm gonna be reading a lot with reading the dialogue as well. So, but anyway, it'll be fine. This is interesting so far. So yeah, that's it, man. Thank you all for watching with me, and I will see you in the next part. Peace.